What's up everyone, John from Beyond ARTV. I've got a rant on hand for you guys today that's been a long time coming. This is something that I've talked about with my friends over the years, my girlfriend, just people in general. I take it out on them and it's like, maybe I could actually make this into a rant as much as I talk about it. And I finally decided to do that. The narrow-minded music fan, somebody who just will not branch out, will not try new things, and just stays in their little bubble of comfort, their comfort zone, if you will. And there's some people that works for them. That's okay, but don't come to me acting like you have an agenda, like you want to find out more music or you'd like to try new artists. Now, I think a big thing for me is when people will come to me asking, John, why don't you cover smaller artists or why don't you review more small stuff? But then in turn, obviously, no one really watches those videos whenever I do make them, and they won't try out new things whenever I recommend them. I mean, I've had people tweet me before saying, oh, could you list some new artists for me to try? And I'm like, well, even though maybe I just did an episode of 7 on Sunday talking about bands that you should check out, here's a list of things. And then people will reply and just be like, I actually had somebody say this. Well, I've never heard of any of them, so I don't know. And it's just like, okay, you've never heard of any of them, but you just asked for new artists for yourself to check out, or you just wanted new bands to listen to. How are you ever gonna find anything new if you just keep listening to the same 3 over and over again? Say you listen to nothing more than 21 Pilots, Green Day, and Blink-182, and you never moved past that. You never tried out anything new. You never tried out Courtney Barnett, or Fall Out Boy, or Churches, or AFI, just bands that I can see in my posters right here. Fuck, I'm wearing an AFI shirt. There's all different styles and types and genres of music, and you'll never know what you might love if you keep yourself in this box. And I see that with so many people. People think that they're only gonna like what the mainstream feeds them. There's people who just eat up whatever's on pop radio. I have people like that. I have a cousin like that who just sits there and listens to whatever the world will give her. And she's like, oh yeah, that's good. Well, that's probably really good. They play it a lot, so it must be. No, that's not how the world works, sweetheart. And there's so many different more opportunities to be had. Now, I am not going to come down too harsh on people who are, I guess, participating in this just because I understand it. I hate it still very, very much, and I don't feel like I was entirely in this boat. But there are people out there in the world, such as myself, even like 5-6 years ago, who would just listen to one genre of music, really, and they wouldn't cover or listen to much else other than that. And on my channel, I can't say that I cover a ton of different styles, but that doesn't mean that I don't listen to them. And while I might not cover a ton of hip-hop, rap, metal on my channel, that sort of thing, it's something that I will listen to from time to time and kind of test with myself, trying things that viewers send me, and vice versa. I will send recommendations out to viewers, maybe something that's not quite in the norm. Everybody has their niche, and I've definitely found mine on YouTube. I know what my viewers like to see from me, but 5 or 6 years ago, it was really for me just listening to alternative and rock and really nothing else, just hating anything that was on the pop charts automatically. That was just an automatic no in my book. And then from there, I would just turn over and just be like, you know what? I'm not even gonna give this the time of day. Oh, well, it's a rap album, it's too long. I can't listen to it. And now I look and I see those things and I see that mindset and I'm like, that's worked its way into other people, except they're not getting past that. They're not growing out of that, because I'll see people in their 20s. I was probably 16, 17, 18, 19 in this phase, and then I started transitioning, realizing there was a ton of other stuff out there. There's people who are 25, 30 years old, still just listening to the same things over and over again. I mean, my dad listens to really nothing but country music and oldies and refuses to give anything new a chance. And that is the definition of being narrow-minded, small-minded right there, and not having the opportunity to grow and challenge yourself with what music you might actually like. If you listen to one band, you might actually like the band that inspired them in the first place. Say you like Green Day, and maybe you'll like Rancid, or maybe you'll like somebody who inspired them. Maybe you'll go back to The Clash, or maybe from there you'll go back to the Rolling Stones, or Bob Seger, or all of these other varieties of artists. There's different flavors, different strokes for different folks, different genres and styles styles for different days. And if you don't push yourself to try these new things, then how will you ever know what you like? And if you have a conversation with someone about music and you can only list, oh, my favorites are Troye Sivan, Melanie Martinez, and Halsey, and over and over again, if you just say that, those are my 3 favorites, and I feel really edgy about that, then how are you ever going to have an educated conversation with somebody about music, and how will somebody actually take you seriously? See, if those actually are your favorites, but you also, like other different things and you're willing to try, but there's people who say, I literally listen to nothing but these artists. That's it. I listen to Panic at the Disco and Fall Out Boy and, anybody on Fueled by Ramen, 21 Pilots, Gym Class Heroes, and that's it. I don't listen to anybody else. Then what are you doing with yourself? And then there's people who will listen to nothing but like metalcore bands. Like, I love like The Color Morale and Asking Alexandria and, that sort of thing. And then I might recommend, did you want to branch that out a little bit and maybe try somebody like a hard rock band like Alter Bridge, or maybe you could go over and try out like a metal band like Anthrax. And it's just like, oh, no, wait, I couldn't do that, like, do they have the cliched lyrics over and over again? And I know that's personal opinion there. I'm bringing that into the mix. But my point that I'm trying to get across is the fact that people aren't really willing to try new things, even though it has elements and flavors of what they might actually like. And that's just mind-blowing to me. It's just like how does nobody care enough to actually try something new? Me personally, I get bored so easily if I'm just listening to the same thing over and over again, and I feel like a lot of people are going to start realizing that as well, especially with as monotonous of a year as 2016 was. It was absolutely absurd just how kind of pathetic it was in a way, just how everything blended together so smoothly. Didn't go down very easy though. It's like it went down, but you started getting a little bit of indigestion. You were like, oh God, that was a bad idea. 2016 and a handful right there. Like it's just, I don't know. I don't even know how to describe the year, but it got me worked up enough to actually make this rant. And I feel like I see people like on Twitter, Facebook, or in the comments all the time always asking me like, oh, musical recommendations, give us some new bands to listen to. And then I give you the new bands to listen to, or I review a band that you might not know. And then it's like, well, nobody actually comments that they like checked it out, or only a handful do, or barely anyone watches the video. And it's just like, why did I review this if half the comments or 3/4 of the comments are just going to be me requesting to review something else? And it's just, it's not really me complaining here. It's just wanting, not complaining about my videos at least, because that's fine. But just in general, do yourself a favor and actually try and broaden your horizons. And I think that you will get a lot more enjoyment out of music. If you like one artist, don't be afraid to try out that recommended artist on Spotify or Apple Music, because they might actually be your new favorite. Whew, got that all done in one take. I hope you guys enjoyed this rant today. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, because friends don't let friends go unsubscribed. If you would like to see another rant or a problems I have with video, you can check those out right down below me. Social media right over here, link in the description, and I will see you guys very soon right here on Beyond ARTV.